All right, good morning. This is not only a beautiful day in December, but a really exciting time, and I'm glad that you all took time to be here to help celebrate the completion of the 270 North project, all these investments in North St. Louis County on 270. I am Tom Blair. I'm honored and humbled to serve as MoDOT's district engineer responsible for MoDOT in the St. Louis region. And I'm really thrilled that we're all here in person celebrating this completion today. And I want to thank, again, I'll do it at the end, but I want Hazelwood. Thank you very much, Hazelwood Drumline, for coming out and add a little bit of spice to our celebration. Now I get to serve as the MC today, so I have a whole bunch of great speakers behind me. I'm not going to steal any of the stage from them, but I want to acknowledge that this project started over a decade ago. Many of you in the crowd and many of the people behind me were a part of it. We started over a decade ago, the 270 corridor study, the 270 North environmental study. That engaged this community here in North St. Louis County through a lot of public meetings. That was over a decade ago. We're here today to celebrate the completion. We're at the finish line of that. The actual construction started about 4 years ago. The Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission awarded the best value proposal to Millstone, Weber, and Parsons team on November 6th, 2019, approximately 4 years ago, right here down the road at St. Louis Community College Flow Valley campus. 4 years ago, we started construction, and here we are finishing it up today. It's a really exciting time. Now, this project, there's a lot of team members. I'm going to recognize some of you in the crowd and everything in a moment. But this project is going to deliver, or is delivering, improvements that not only help the commuters, 140,000 vehicles, trucks a day on 270, but also helps improve communities and the people's lives that live and work along this corridor. Today, we're celebrating this completion. As you see in the brochure, and I hope you all get that brochure and you get that ribbon. We have team members out in the crowd that'll hand that out to you. But as you see in the brochure, this project replaced 18 bridges. It had 19 miles of new concrete pavement, 42 miles of highway being repaved. We replaced aged traffic signals. 24 traffic signals have been replaced. We have additional multi-use trails on both the North Outer Road and the South Outer Road, known here as Dunn and Purcell. And we have Missouri's first dedicated bus lane that connects the North County Transit Center to our Flow Valley Community College campus. The project has addressed significant aged infrastructure needs in this community. This was one of our most in-need interstate corridors in the St. Louis region. And this 8 miles of I-270 and the outer roadways has been substantially improved by this project that we're celebrating today. I mentioned all these external partners, many of you in the crowd. I want to acknowledge these great speakers behind me. I'm going to introduce in a moment individually, and they're going to say a few words, but I want to acknowledge some of the crowd to help our speakers understand, too, who's in the crowd here. First, I want to start with Federal Highway Administration. So Kevin Ward, if he raises his hand, he is Federal Highway. He's our Missouri Division Director, and Kevin and his team make sure that we meet all the federal expectations so we have a quality product, but they also allocate that federal funds back to us, and we need Federal Highway and those federal funds to make this reality. We also have, I'm going to announce groups, and then you can applaud. So from our U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt's office, we have Chris Walker. Chris, I didn't see you in the crowd. If you want to stand up for a moment, raise your hand. Chris, yes. And we have Madeline Castle from U.S. Senator Josh Hawley's office. So Madeline, so thank you guys for both coming. We have multiple state elected officials that are behind me, but in the crowd I know we have Representative Chantel Nixon Clark. We have Rachel Proddy. We have Alan Gray, Representative Alan Gray. St. Louis County, at the St. Louis County level, we have Chairwoman Shalonda Webb and Councilwoman Rita Days. Also from St. Louis County, we have St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell. Now, this corridor, this 8 miles, impacts a lot of communities. In these front few rows, we have the mayors of those communities. So will the mayors please all rise for a minute? And thank you very much for all of your support from all the communities. I do want a special shout out to our Mayor of Florissant and Mayor Lowery and the city of Florissant, because they provided the stage that the speakers are standing on today. So thanks for that. Tom Schneider, will you please stand up? I want to take a moment. It's not normal that we recognize a former mayor. He's not been serving since he stopped in 2019, but he served as an elected official here in North St. Louis County, specifically in Florissant as mayor. But he's an elected official for 40 years in this area of St. Louis, 40 years. But most notable to us and MoDOT, and partially why we're here, is because Tom Schneider served and represented the St. Louis region on Missouri's 21st Century Transportation Task Force. They focused on increasing Missouri's investment in transportation many years ago. That work was a foundation for some of the work that made possible to fund such a large investment right here in North County. So thank you, Tom, for everything you've done. I mentioned that bus lane. I want to acknowledge in the crowd, Chuck. Chuck Stewart is our Metro bus chief operations officer. So if you have any bus and transit questions, Chuck's here today. Thank you very, very much, Chuck. At our local level, we have a lot of different people. So we have St. Louis Community College President, Dr. Elizabeth Perkins. So Christian Hospital President, Rick Stevens. Hazelwood Leadership. We have Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Granger. So if you're here, stand up and, all right, in the back there with the band. Also, we have area businesses. If you own and operate an area business within a reasonable distance, either on the outer roadways or right in this area, I would really like to recognize all of you. I can't name you all, but I know there's a lot of you in the crowd, and our team does really appreciate your patience during the last 4 years of construction, and we're excited to see what you can do with your businesses and the economic activity that's going to be spurred by the completion of this project and the investments made here. So let's give a round to all the area business. Round of applause. I'm almost done. I'm going to turn it over to these guys so they have lots of good things to say, but I want to acknowledge the MoDOT team. So if you're a MoDOT team member, please raise your hand. We have a lot of MoDOT team members that have been part of this project. We've had 3 project directors. Our current projector is Neil Jansen. He's not speaking today, but we've had 3 project directors to get this project over. We have Neil Jansen, and out in the crowd, toward the back there, we have Justin Wolf. He was our original project director. And somewhere way back over there is Eric Kopinski, and he was our second project director to get us to the finish line. Now, the largest group to recognize, I hope largest group, I don't see enough hard hats in the crowd, but I was anticipating the largest group would be the men and women that actually worked on the project. Whether you were on the study, working on the study at the beginning, whether you're working on designing the project, or most importantly, if you were out there working on the project, placing that asphalt, rebuilding those bridges, please raise your hand. Let's recognize all the men and women that worked on this project. Thank you very much for turning our need into an improvement and reality. Now, without any further ado, I want to introduce you to you, Missouri Highway and Transportation Commissioner Greg Smith.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everyone. As a member of the Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission, I'm pleased to be here today to celebrate the completion of this transformative project, Interstate 270. We got to drive it a while ago, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. The commission oversees the Missouri Department of Transportation and is responsible for approving the award of all bids, roads and highways and road bids. So being here today with you and seeing the completion of this 10 miles of interstate highway and all the improvements made to reconnect communities across this highway, this is what makes me happy and makes me proud to be a commissioner and improve transportation in Missouri. The Commission and MoDOT could not have made this possible without the support of Governor Parson and members of the congressional delegation and members of the General Assembly. Their support of transportation investment is critical to providing opportunities to build projects just like this in all corners of Missouri. Therefore, it is my great honor to introduce our partner and the 57th governor of the great state of Missouri, Governor Mike Parson.
Man, good morning, everyone. Man, what a beautiful day. Hey, you guys in the drum line, thank you very much for being here this morning. I have never been to a benefit yet where they've had the drum line there playing this morning, so it's a first for me. So thank you all for being here today. Great job. Gosh, it's a pleasure of mine to be here. And there's so many dignitaries on the stage. Representative Bangert's up here, was part of it. Sam Page is up here. Brian Williams seems to be showing up at every ribbon cutting I'm doing here, or I'm showing up at every one he's doing. I'm not sure which, but and then my director and so many dignitaries up here that's here. Greg Smith, who you just heard from. I want to just say this about the legislators that are here today and for this area. These things don't happen without them. I can go out there and make the biggest plans in the world, but if I can't make them understand the importance of infrastructure in the state of Missouri and where we're headed, I can't complete these projects. And I'm very proud that both of the legislators are here today, and many, many others have supported a vision I had 5.5 years ago to be able to change things in the state of Missouri. Somebody asked me early on when I was governor what I knew about North County. And I will be honest with you. I said very little. But here's what I will tell you. That I'm going to go up there and I'm going to learn the issues that affect the people in North County up here in these areas, whether it's North County, St. Louis City, and I'm going to learn. And I'm going to try to figure out how I do a better job as governor to meet the demands of the people of this area. This is probably the third or fourth time I've been up here on this project alone, and to be able to talk to people up here. I remember early on, I talked to a lady that come up to me, and she was just somebody that lived in the neighborhoods up here, and her biggest issue was just to get across the highway, and she didn't have a car. She just wanted to be able to walk across there safely, and I remember talking to her about that, and I thought, surely we can do better than that we can make it people where they can walk across there. I just talked to business owners. I talked to one that I would consider a friend when I just got out of the cars a while ago, and said how much he appreciated all this for the businesses in this community. These are the kind of projects that make a difference long term in the state of Missouri when you talk about infrastructures. These are what long effect help your community to bring businesses here, to keep people here, things of that. That's why infrastructure is so important to me. And I can't go without saying, if you think I-270 North project, if you think of Rocheport Bridge on Columbia, if you think of the Buck O'Neill Bridge in Kansas City, these were all projects I talked about in the first day the state ever done 5.5 years ago. All of these projects, this one will be done, the Rocheport Bridge will be done on I-70, Buck O'Neill Bridge will be completed this year. 3 major projects that all we ever did was talk about it, and we never completed. All of them will be completed within the next year, and then you're going to have a little project that's going to hook them all together called I-70, and we're going to make I-70 6 lanes in the state of Missouri. And I got to tell you, that's good for everybody. I also, one of the things I come up here and I learned early on too was a project called Project PAVE. And it's something I dearly believe in for kids to be able to learn working skills. And these are high school kids and young kids. And I was reading just some information I had coming in here. Over 100 kids alone were involved in this project to learn skills in the STEM education form of it. You all should be proud of your community for sending them kids here and learning that and making sure they have opportunities as they move forward on that. And all of them have been successful. So I don't know who all was behind that, but I want to thank you for doing that on the workforce side of things here in Missouri. There's over 100 students that did that. I want to finish up by saying something. When Patrick McKenna, I brought him in my office early on, and I found out we was in a time in the state of Missouri We were trying to figure out how to pay the bills and just how to keep maintenance up. We wasn't even talking about really building very many new projects. And when I first became governor, the budget for MoDOT, the STIP plan, was $2.5 billion is what the budget was. A year ago, when we signed the last one, was for $14 billion for the state of Missouri. I tell you, we're not done yet. I said that in the State of the State last year. You're going to see more of me in my final year, because we're going to keep pushing for more and more infrastructure in this state. We're going to keep pushing for more and more young people to learn what it is to go into the workforce of tomorrow and what it's like. And North County will play a huge role in making all those things possible for the next generation. So it is always an honor and privilege to be here. It's an honor and privilege to be here today to help the communities up here. And I appreciate everybody for being here today. And it is a true blessing for me to be the governor of the great state of Missouri. Thank you all for having me here today. Thank you very much. All right, okay. What we gotta do? Let's do it. Come on up here. Let's go. I think this is the time I'm supposed to say completed as promised.
All right, next up, we have MoDOT's Director, Patrick McKenna.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, everybody, for being here. What a great day. It's really exciting. You know, when we talked years ago, as the governor mentioned, we were just barely maintaining. We had nets up under the overpasses here on this project. In many places, we're catching the concrete that was falling from years of decay and from an inability to fund major projects like this. And, you know, this project itself in this area, I think, is a turning point for this region. And when I think of turning points in infrastructure, when we talk about trending in the right direction instead of looking at decline, I'd say the biggest turning point in the state of Missouri is when Governor Mike Parson became governor and made this a priority. He made infrastructure and workforce his two main priorities when he first came in being governor, and he's maintained that dedication throughout his entire term. And I think that's really why we're here today and why we're in many places around the state talking about progress, completing projects, doing things that it's only when we finish the projects that the taxpayers of Missouri get the benefit of them. So talking about them, planning them, working on the financing just doesn't do the job. It's when we get them open, when the taxpayers who fund them can actually gain the benefit, that it makes all the difference. So I'm so appreciative to our governor, and I'm so appreciative to our Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission. Greg Smith's been a volunteer on this commission for over 10 years. His leadership has been instrumental in turning the department around and bringing us to projects like this one today. You know, the 270 North project is one of the largest design-build contracts MoDOT has ever completed. The governor talked about the importance to the daily lives of everyone here in North County and St. Louis in general. These improvements will help 140,000 vehicles who use this stretch of interstate every day. The updates significantly improve the communities and reconnect people's lives along the highway, with the addition of improving the highway and its interchanges and outer roads, creating 10 miles of multi-use path and other pedestrian facilities, and building the first dedicated bus lane connecting North County Transit Center to the St. Louis Community College. I want to thank everyone who's here today, representing the cities, the businesses, transit riders, everyday commuters. Thank you for your patience. This has been a 4-year project. Your patience has been critical. Thank you for that patience as we work through this project together. The improvements to I-270 also elevates this interstate as a major conduit for the state's economy as a freight corridor connecting to manufacturers, suppliers, and distributors along Interstate 70 and beyond. Starting with the entrance into Missouri at the Chain of Rocks Mississippi River Bridge just to the east, and then connecting to I-70 just a few miles west. This is the linchpin in the critical flow of commerce for St. Louis, the metro region, and all of Missouri. I want to take a moment to thank the hard work of all the workers from Millstone Weber, the great engineering from Parson. This has been a team effort, a true public-private partnership. Tom, your team has done a fantastic job out here. I want to thank you all for your work, and I want to thank everyone on the MoDOT team who's made this happen today. It's really the workers that have done all this and made this possible. Thank you so much. I'm proud of each and every one of you, and so glad to be here with everyone to celebrate this wonderful occasion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Director McKenna. Now I'd like to bring up our Senate Committee, Transportation Infrastructure, Public Safety, Senator Brian Williams.
Good morning. I said good morning. It's such a beautiful day here in North St. Louis County. The governor said something that was really funny. He said he doesn't know if I'm following him to groundbreaking ceremonies or he's following me. Governor, in this instance, in North St. Louis County, you are following me. You know, today is a really beautiful day for us here. This is a tremendous project. I think the governor pointed on some really important facts, is that it wasn't done by ourselves. It was a team of people that came together and really made it work. I do want to recognize a few people out there. If we can recognize, again, the hardworking folks in this community. We have union folks out there. Could we clap it up for them that do the work on a lot of these projects? We have just other folks out there. Mayor Arnold Hinkle from Blackjack, we didn't get a chance to shout you out. Good to see you, sir. You know, when you go to these things, it's like going to a family reunion. You don't speak to one relative, you're in trouble until the next year. If you look down the street there, I remember as a kid walking past this here Village Square. And my grandmother is the first African-American woman to get an international appointment as an auto worker. She worked right in that union hall down the street, and that's where I would go and visit and spend time with her during the summers. I never thought there would be a time in my life where my office, with the help of so many folks in this community, elected leaders like Shalonda Webb, I think her and Dr. Page and I just celebrated the demolition of Jamestown Mall. Yeah, clap it up. That's a big deal. Chantel Nixon Clark played a tremendous role in that as well. And then, Governor, I think with your recommendation, you listened to some concerns I had in my district, and we secured last year $40 million to remodel UMSL South Campus and revitalize the Natural Bridge Corridor, which has not seen any investment since the 60s in the development of the University of Missouri St. Louis. And even though we are North County folk, and we do love St. Louis County, but we were also able to do some things for the region. $15 million for the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation Center to match the Build Back Better funding. Governor and I just did that groundbreaking ceremony, which would create jobs with partnership with Rankin. And at the call of Mayor Tashara Jones, our office was able to secure over $10 million towards a public safety access center. And I think, Sam, we did $23 million a year ago. They say, what the hell are you doing in Jefferson City? I say, I'm getting about $115 million back to my community. That's what we do. So today is a really big deal. Thank you all for what you do. I'm so proud of my colleagues that support me and help me be able to make a lot of things happen for this community. It would not be possible without every single one of you. And again, this is a community that deserves it. Please clap it up for I-270. This is a tremendous deal for our region, and I hope you all recognize that, as the governor stated, we still got more money, and I plan to spend it right here in this community. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
All right, thank you, Senator Williams. Next, we have Missouri Representative Gretchen Bangert, and she is a minority member of the Transportation Infrastructure Committee. Representative Bangert.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. Highway 270, first highway I ever drove on as a young teenager. Plowing down the highway, I'm like, oh, this is terrifying. Highway 270, the first time I got pulled over. I didn't get a ticket, but I did get pulled over. Highway 270, the first time I ran out of gas at the Washington exit. Thankfully, I rolled halfway up, and some nice gentlemen came and helped push my car the rest of the way up. So, Highway 270, I've been around North County for many, many years. Lots of great memories, and some fun things, too, with the slip ramps. Those of you who have been around here definitely remember that. Cars coming off the highway, and you're, like, trying to avoid them. And the intersection here at Lynn Haven and 270 with, I don't know, there must have been 30 stop signs, and I'm driving a stick shift car trying to maneuver through all those. That was quite a challenge. So this new interchange, which is actually the second one since then, is just absolutely wonderful. So I want to thank MoDOT as well for all of the things that they've done, the communication that's taken place throughout the entire process. I just want to backstep a little bit. I remember back in, I think it was around 2010 maybe, with North County Incorporated. We were at some meetings talking about how we can do better things for North County and things that needed to be addressed, and one of those was definitely Highway 270. So it's been a long time in the process. 2019, I was there when the award was made for the design and build, which I have no idea how these engineers can figure out which lanes and everything's going to take place over a 4-year process and how much it's going to cost. It's just amazing. So it was really neat to be there for that award. And 2019, it's like, oh, 2024, that's going to be forever. It's here. It's right around the corner. Throughout the process, though, I do want to thank MoDOT. I learned a lot. They were very communicative with myself, which I was able to pass along to my constituents. I learned, I remember watching a young apprenticeship. She was laying on the top of the bridge top, tying zip ties around rebar so that they could pour concrete to build the bridge. And I'm like, I had no idea you had to do all of that. And she was learning these great skills, and that was several years ago, so hopefully she's on her way. I learned how they poured the concrete. They took me to show me how they do that and how they smooth it all down, which was really neat. Got to see the first roundabout. It was just great. The process and communication throughout the whole thing was wonderful with MoDOT. And I just have to say, I'm proud to be a North Countyan. I'm proud for North County for this accomplishment. It's beautiful. The bridges are beautiful, the lighting, and our pedestrians can now walk underneath a bridge to get to the bus or wherever they need to go. They couldn't even walk underneath the bridges. So it's just a wonderful thing. I want to thank everybody that was involved in the project, and of course, all of us in the state that helped get this all going. It's just wonderful, and I'm looking forward to our next big I-270 production. So that's going to be wonderful. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Representative Banger. Our next speaker represents another of our active partners. And in this case, this partner helped make this project what it is. St. Louis County provided additional money to enhance the scope of improvements that we were able to deliver here on 270 in North St. Louis County. It is my honor to introduce to you St. Louis County Executive Dr. Sam Page.
Thank you. And Representative, I think I might remember you as a young teenager driving on 270. I was right there with you. But what a great day to be here in North St. Louis County as we celebrate the opening of I-270 North, really transforming the safety and accessibility in our vibrant North County communities. While it may take some time for residents to adapt to the new exit ramps and the one-way roads, the positive impact of this construction is really just undeniable. Gone are the days that we heard about earlier today, looking over our shoulders, trying to judge whether or not it's safe to navigate the exit ramp at Dunn Road, or just recognize the significance of I-270 as one of Missouri's most traveled corridors. I think it's really important that we recognize Governor Mike Parson's leadership in bringing $278 million here for this project, this vital project. And St. Louis County is really proud for its role that we've played in this project. We've added $6 million directly from St. Louis County taxpayers to lengthen the bridges, to add sidewalks, to resurface Purcell Road from Lindbergh to Hanley, and even to restripe it to add bicycle lanes. So in taking a moment to celebrate this crucial infrastructure investment, we're not just marking the completion of a construction project. We're really celebrating new connections and a newly reconstituted interstate and the connections that brings to our community. And these improvements in the I-270 North Corridor will bring us a more cohesive, a more accessible region for public transportation, for cyclists, and for pedestrians as they improve their daily commute. And I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the hard work and the dedication of all the folks that brought this project together. From the engineers to the construction workers that we heard from earlier, the folks that rebuilt the bridges in our community, and to the leaders, our community leaders who worked together to champion this project. Those collective efforts are what led to us being here today to cut this ribbon. And I want to thank all the residents in North County for your patience over the past 4 years, all the detours, all the different phases, but it really is now exciting to see this investment come to life in North County. Because we know that when North County is successful, the entire region is successful. So thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you, County Executive Page. Joining us to represent the communities of North St. Louis County is the President and CEO of North County, Inc., Rebecca Zoll.
Good afternoon. Isn't it a beautiful day for this? So I just want to start by saying I need to commend MoDOT and its construction partners for a job well done out here. How about another round of applause for them? So I didn't get a ticket on 270, or at least I can't remember. It's been a long time. But I drove it before multiple times, and the slip ramps, quite frankly, terrified me. It was one of the reasons early on when the MoDOT team came and said, oh, we're going to start working on some of the bridges. I was like, well, that's great, but that's not good enough. So in 2006, NCI prioritized the need for major transportation infrastructure improvements along this corridor. We began talking with area elected officials and convening meetings with these leaders along with representatives from the Missouri Department of Transportation. I point out the date because it was a long time ago, first off, but advocacy work sometimes takes a long time, and it takes a lot of voices speaking together to be genuinely impactful. However, when leaders collaborate, like ours did, it pays off big for the community. Just look around. We now have safer, more efficient I-270 North Corridor. This infrastructure improvement serves as a great example of positive outcomes that occur when a community forms collaborative partnerships and speaks with a strong voice on what is expected and what is important. I want to thank the Missouri Transportation Commissioners, thank you, who listened to the many local voices over the years testifying to the importance of this project and took action to see that the project was funded. Also, a big thanks to MoDOT officials and staff who worked with NCI and our local officials along the corridor for nearly the past 2 decades to bring these improvements to fruition. A special shout out goes to mayors along the corridor that stood with NCI for all this time and spoke strongly and continually about the necessity of the major changes needed for safety and access throughout the corridor. So I just want to say kudos to North County Incorporated's members and Mayor Jones, Mayor Lowery, the former Mayor Tom Schneider, who held numerous press conferences and testified so many times for this community, and then also visited with state officials on a regular basis. I want to thank Mayor Robinson and Mayor Tatman, and before her, former Mayor Parson, along with St. Louis County Executive Dr. Sam Page. We really do also owe our state representative Gretchen Bangert and Senator Brian Williams. Before Senator Williams, former Senator Gina Walsh. I know I saw Rita out there. Rita walked this path with us for years, so thank you to that. Thank you to Shalonda Webb and Representative Nixon Clark. I think what I need you to hear is that this was a cooperative project with the community. And when a community needs something and they gather together and they work collaboratively and they speak to the state with one clear voice, it helps and makes things happen. So thank you. Could I have my North County Inc. members and board members please stand up? We have several in the crowd. Would you all please stand up? These men and women have worked tirelessly over the past 2 decades to help with this advocacy work. I also need to say a big thank you to Patrick McKenna, before Ida Hassinger, Tom Blair, and before him, Bill Schnell, and their whole team at MoDOT. Thank you so very much for the hard work in keeping this community constantly informed as to the process and the status of what was happening and when it was happening and the expectations. This allowed us to help keep our constituents informed as well. Before I conclude, it is important to note that the Missouri Transportation Commission and MoDOT staff, okay, I have to do this plug, okay? We're not quite done working along the corridor. Further north, more investment is coming with the I-270 bridge over the Mississippi River and the Riverview interchange, which is currently under construction and is anticipated to be completed in 2026, with a total of another $526 million investment in partnership with IDOT and MoDOT. That's great news. These infrastructure improvements are so important as people enter our state. And we anticipate another $48 million investment replacing the mainline I-270 bridge from 367 to Lilac, the Lilac interchange, and completion of the 3rd lane into Illinois. I think North St. Louis County is on a winning streak. And when it comes to improving this critical corridor into our state, it's a great day for North County. Thank you so much for being here today.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Now I'd like to invite Tom Kuhn, the CEO and president of Millstone Weber, to come up and say a few comments.
I'll try to make it snappy. I'm cold too. First off, I'd like to echo the comments of County Executive Page and Director McKenna. Thank everyone up here in North County for putting up with us for 4 years. We can be a real pain. Okay. I was trying to stay as far away as possible. That being said, this project really is how this stuff is supposed to work. Global pandemic be damned. You put a bunch of brilliant, community-minded, ridiculously hardworking, and superhumanly courageous folks together, and good stuff's bound to happen. Hundreds of folks, from dozens of contractors, engineers, suppliers, law enforcement agencies, and MoDOT put their hearts and lives into making this project a reality. We cannot thank them enough. It really is about the Jimmies and Jose's and Heathers and Rob Niches of the world. Too many folks to mention here, but there really are a couple of dignitaries I got to point out. Senior Project Manager and proud daughter of North County, Brandy Brockling. She's been running this show since before it was even a set of plans. Some more names you wouldn't otherwise know, most of whom couldn't be here today because they work for a living. Brett Lennon, Jason Hiley, Mark Hartman, Vivian Martin, Andy During, Justin Rogers, Sharon Jepson, Melissa Moore, Terry McLean, Bob Boyer, Nancy Clark, Shamil Khorasani, who when this project started, was still a engineer in training in Kabul, Afghanistan. Dory Harris, Rabiz Amin, Robert Patterson, Heather Novak, Zach Beaver, John Whitworth, John Kerrigan, Kendall Davidson, Nick Orridge, Malcolm Nyatunga, Ivan Pargo, Sean Koenig, Greg Borgmeyer, the recently retired Vic Townsend, the soon-to-be retired Kurt Koenigsfeld, Tom Payne, Mike Long, Rick Crane, Jimmy Dehart, Danny Ballman, Gary Ballman, and North County's own Tim Pear. Christian Malloyd and Jaden Thomas were just sophomores in high school when this thing started, but through Project BABE, which the governor mentioned, they interned with us, and now both of them work for us. Christian works in IT, Jaden works in DEI. Both of them are also taking college classes. Here's to everyone who helped this community take a step forward. Thank to everyone for letting us be at least a small part of it.
All right, thank you very much, Tom Kuhn. To celebrate an event like this, we have an official ribbon cutting, as you see the official ribbon in front of me. Before we cut that ribbon, I want a few, and I'll let you go, I want a few final comments here. To mark this milestone, please ensure that you get one of the brochures. Some of the MoDOT team members around have these. So, and inside that, you have a piece of that ribbon. Take this back. Put this in a place to remember this investment that has been made and everything. Take this back to your business, to your community, to your family, and share this experience with them, because there's so many in North St. Louis County that couldn't take the time to be here today, and they need to know of this. So make sure you get one of the brochures and the ribbon cutting, a piece of ribbon. Thank you for coming to today's event, and as we depart, please buckle up, phone down, and drive safe. Now, I have a correction to make. The piece of paper I got, you're all wondering what's on it. Well, I made a mistake, and the proud Hazelwood East Band called me out on it. It's Hazelwood East Band, not Hazelwood. So let's give them a round of applause. Now, before they get playing, I'm going to invite, at this time, our MoDOT leadership, and they know which MoDOT leaders I'm talking about, our contract leaders, and they know which ones that we're talking about, to join in Federal Highway, Kevin, and all of our federal, state, county elected officials, and all of our local mayors to join the speakers in front of the stage for ribbon cutting. And after we do that ribbon, Hazelwood East, you finish it off for us. After we're done taking this ribbon cutting picture, please send us off with a little bit of your jazz, and thank you for all coming today.
Yeah.